Hello, everybody. Happy UNESCO World Jazz Day. If I can introduce myself, my name is Dax Jean-Baptiste, and I am the audio design engineer for Pure, an international brand for smart radios, smart speakers, DAB radios. Today, I'd like to talk to you all a little bit about music, Pure's love of music, jazz, and perhaps some of the things we've been listening to lately. So jazz, it's a constantly evolving and dynamic genre, and there's a lot of subcultures within jazz. As a music fan myself and audio systems engineer, I usually find the typical fan has a group of jazz subgenres that they follow or enjoy. In terms of what's hot, for me being based in the UK, currently, a recent release by Blinker and Moses called Feeding the Machine. It's quite a short studio release with maybe 6 tracks, quite good, quite hot. Uh, International release, an American artist called Jean-Baptiste. He's recently been awarded a Grammy. He's previously performed at the Montreux Jazz Festival. Check him out. So jazz music's interesting. It's interesting to me personally. It's a very expressive music form. It's always able to push boundaries, doesn't necessarily conform to people's standard ideas of rhythm, timing, instrumentation, or interpretation. Um, Although, of course, it can and often does. Um, I suppose a good example of that might be that what a rich and diverse catalogue exists of interpretations of what many people would call jazz standards, and yet they're so very very different depending on the performer, their background, their interpretation. Um, Jazz also happily permeates through many other musical genres, and for me, there's a very rich library of fusions with blues, R&B, soul, where jazz has a strong influence. Okay, an excellent question. The question is, what is the best way to set up the Pure Evoke music systems for Jazz Day? So, as the audio engineer for Pure, I would definitely suggest that you do not need, without personal taste, to adjust the equalization. Most of your focus for enjoyment is already, shall we say, dialed in by default. And the most important thing might be to consider the placement of the product. So guess I can give some recommendations for each. For Evoke Spot, the audio tuning for the smallest member of the new Evoke family is really suited to a countertop or a desk. Um, the tuning is such that it doesn't matter if you put it too close to a wall, um, nor does it matter too much in terms of height. So within a couple of feet of your ear level, this ideally suits a kitchen or a dining room. Uh, will give you a surprisingly rich and enjoyable listening experience for a small product. And for the Evoke Play, with its optional portability with the battery and its enhanced bass response, this product very much is tuned for indoor or outdoor mobile listening. So the only recommendation really would be if you're listening indoors, try to avoid placing it in a corner. Its tuning is such that the room gain will give you slightly too much bass. And finally, for the largest product in the family, the Evoke Home, for us, the typical placement or ideal placement to enjoy this product, somewhere around ear level and somewhere along the long wall of an indoor rectangular room. So try to avoid corners, try to avoid being too low. A little too high is not so bad. This will give you a nice, rich, detailed listening experience. I think Pure will be publishing a list of jazz artists, a few tracks that are favorites of mine, perhaps some quite new stuff, and perhaps a couple of hopefully not forgotten classics, along with some jazz radio stations and some podcasts. We'll make these available via Spotify playlist and also via social media. Okay, so happy World Jazz Day, everyone. I'd like to highly recommend our Pure Evoke music systems to anyone who wants to enjoy some jazz music this World Jazz Day. Uh, Life would maybe be flat without music.